MTG Nexus coming at you, working on some Boros Burn. It's been a minute since we put some serious effort into trying to improve and iterate on Burn, so figured we'd try it with a little bit of a widely scattered sideboard like we did when we did the Boros Burn bootcamp last year, starting out with some cards that I haven't been playing as much lately, especially in the sideboard, seeing how they feel, cutting out some number of other cards that we've been playing at points and seeing if some numbers start needing to be shuffled around. One thing to note, or a couple things in the main deck, is how does the 5th Canopy land feel? Does it feel like we're taking too much damage from a mana base? And how does Searing Blaze feel in the current format? And that's a card that last time I seriously paid attention to Burn, felt like it was a bit of a struggle. Obviously you want it in certain matchups, but there's a lot of matchups where it's just a dead card, whether it be the Blue-White Control X matchups or the Amulet Titan matchups especially. It felt to be somewhat of a dead card, and against the 4-color blink deck it could be a little bit awkward. As far as the sideboard, the differences we're making is we've cut down on some number of Sanctifier en-vecs and Roiling Vortexes. While both of them are wonderful cards, Vortex has gotten a little bit worse with the addition of Boseiju to the format, a land being able to take out a card that's supposed to be kind of a KO card in certain matchups. Then Sanctifier en-vec obviously has kind of dwindled in power over the last several months. As red decks have kind of taken a dip, obviously shadow decks have taken a bit of a hit. It's still okay against like Murktide and stuff, and in the red mirrors, but overall not necessarily the best card to be on right now. And it's only graveyard hate really against Reanimator. It's not really that particularly good against Living End. So might want to consider playing something like Relic or Rest in Peace. That's something to pay attention in this video. Also, with an increase of enchantments, especially in the form of Leyline Sanctity, kind of on an uptick, because it happens to hit a lot of annoying things for the decks that are like Endurance that they're trying to play, like Living End and such. So, kind of a split on this and Smash the Smithereens. And then, Deflecting Palm has been a solid addition recently. It's not always my favorite card to be in the sideboard, but I think having a 2-2 split on it and Path are quite nice right now. And then finally, 2 copies of Exquisite Firecraft. Having an uncounterable 4 damage spell to hopefully try to close out the game, especially against the blue decks before they can, get their counterspell wall up or kill you with a Murktide or get an Omnath rolling. This is a card that's been popping back up in some lists, and it's a card that I kind of have a soft spot for historically. So that said, let's get into some matches and see how we can do with Burn in this particular league. We're here for match number 1. We're on a play, which is always nice. Taking a look at this opening hand. Oh well, I guess we better hope that Searing Blaze is reasonable in this matchup. Swift Spear into other spells, even without Searing Blaze being reasonable, is fine. So I think we'll keep it in the dark. Want to sequence your Inspiring Vantage into Swift Spear first, and then the Scalding Tarn being able to trigger Searing Blaze during their turn, potentially, especially if we happen to draw another land that allows us to play our other spells, should they not be on creatures. Opponent does mulligan to 6 here. Get our Swizzle Spear down and get some damage in here. Part of the reason I think Burn has diminished some in stature as far as what it's capable of in the meta is just the problem with okay, so we're up against a deck that has popped back up again, which is 4-color Bring to Light. We want to try to keep our life total above 20 if we can, or not, above 18 if we can. Boreal Grazer, sure. If we could guarantee to draw a land this turn, I think we're gonna gamble that we can draw a land here. Instead, we draw. So what we'll do is we'll attack with both of these. Trigger, they get another Valakut. So hopefully they'll, okay, they block there, which is fine. We did miss a point of damage here. I was doing this to hopefully get rid of the Arboreal Grazer. But this kind of points out another point that I've been talking about Searing Blaze not being the best position card the last several leagues that I've played Burn. Historically, this has been a reasonable matchup, although it depends on how well they're prepared for and we could die next turn. Okay, that's not terrible. This will force them to block. That's 3 Valicates? That's terrifying. They go to 2. We hope to... I guess an Explorer effect plus Scape Shift, or... Another Dryad plus Escape Shift would be lethal. I'm honestly surprised this deck is making much of a splash at the moment. It's a deck I personally like to play, but Dryad. Okay. 1, 2, sure. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because we're at 18, we're just dead. Actually, no, they only have 6 lands, right? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opponent was probably trying to get us to concede, you know. Alright, and they conceded. Alright, we lethal next turn regardless. Okay, so bring to light. Five color Omnath, which is kind of what they are. Seiju, Mystical Disputes. What a weird mix of cards. So Vortex seems like it'd be okay. Firecraft seems like it could be okay. So we want our anti-life gain stuff. We want stuff that can force through counters. Searing Blaze is fine, but I really don't want to draw that many copies of it. Eidolon is a bit awkward on the draw. Maybe a couple copies of Skewer the Critics. Biggest thing is we have to race their combo and try to stop their life gain is the two biggest things, but their mana is often awkward as heck, as they're literally playing 5 color. Although the only black source is the one copy of Savai Triumph. 5-lander, can't keep this one no matter what hand our opponent has. This hand is not good. Just only one spell we can cast. This hand's okay, I guess. Back that and that. Actually, back that and that to try to minimize the damage we take from our lands. Once again, goal is to stay above 18. Helps if I play my land first, right? I'll play an Arboreal Grazer. Gets to ramp a little bit. Plays a Boseiju. Alright, well, let's attack with this, see if they block, which I presume they will. Eidolon's not the best, but it's fine on the play. On the draw, it's a lot more awkward, especially if they have Dryad, which looks like they do. They have Dryad, but they have no land. Interesting. See if they block and block. Well, I can see why they kept the hand. Yep, and that's game. Put on one card in hand. If I were them, I would attack with Dryad here. Yep. Alright. Go to combat. Do I even play anything here? Yeah, I can't allow you to gain that life. See what they go get, but here Scape Shift would be lethal. Make sure our opponent for some reason has enough lands in the deck. Yeah, that seems good enough. Path is certainly a consideration, but man, it does not feel good to give the ramp deck mana. Select play first. This hand is okay. It's not super exciting. The good openers for burn usually involve a 1-drop creature into stuff. This hand's like bolt into things. Must be nice to have a Boreal Grazer in every opening hand. Okay, your opponent has a run 6, but they have a land to go with it. Okay, so spend that. Pass. Okay, that's currently not on math mana. So if we somehow rip a land or another 1 damage spell, we might win here. Okay, well. If they have a counter spell, they had to use it there. So, matchup feels a lot closer than it used to. Even for a deck that's as helter-skelter as theirs is. We are back for match number 2 here on the draw, unfortunately. One weakness of this hand is the fact that we don't have any early interaction with creatures until turn 2. But, you know, 1-drop into 1-drop, or 1-drop into Eidolon tends to be one of Burn's better starts. I'll do mirror match. Looks like a mirror match. Okay, so Okie dokie. One's got a monster, Swizzle Spear. Okay, they have a second land. Do they have one mana spell to go with it? Yes, just another Goblin Guide. Got it. Eidolon. Not exactly what we want to be seeing here. Just going to pass, holding back with Goblin Guide here, hoping to block. I don't think we're winning against what is arguably one of Burn's better starts on the draw. Gotta do this in response now, so our opponent can't save their Eidolon. Not Eidolon. Swizzle Spear. Cool. So we lose. Go to 4. Play a Swizzle Spear. Play an Eidolon. Plan on blocking with this. Creature's great on the play, not so great on the draw on the Burn Mirror. Alright, Burn Mirror Technology. Sanctifier en-vec. Not the best, but it plays. And Deflecting Palm. So, this doesn't do a lot in the matchup. Vortex doesn't do a lot. Smash, they'd have to be on some weird sideboard plan. Not the matchup for Firecraft. This is more about mana efficiency generally. Cards you can consider cutting in the mirror. Eidolons, usually one of the first to go. Anything that doesn't deal with creatures can also go. Searing Blaze is fine, but can be very effective or very bad depending on the situation. Once again, Sanctifier, you bring it in, but it's no core Firewalker in the mirror match. Other cards you consider bringing in, you can consider bringing or taking out those. In some cases, I've even taken out Boros Charms in creature matchups, but obviously this is kind of a race. I think for now I'm going to take out Skullcracks, although yes, Light Gain is a thing. Yeah, throw on Firewalker, actually I want Skullcrack in the deck. So, a little bit unorthodox, but I'm going to take out those, 2 of those, and 2 Boros Charms. Like, 4 damage can be relevant, don't get me wrong, but some number of Eidolon on the play are fine. I guess I'd like to play first. This hand is hecka awkward. I don't like Fetch Shocking for a card that doesn't gain me life. Sanctifier, once again, it's not the best in the mirror, but it's fine. Also enables us to turn on Searing Blaze. It's going to be an Eidolon. Nope. Spend a Rift Bolt. Go. We have a Bolden in the turn 2. Yep. So we might... Could we die this turn? Unlikely, but not great either. Am I just dead? Or do they have like Helix or something? Good chance we're dead here. So yeah, I actively think Sanctifier is now bad in the burn mirror. Doesn't gain us life. Doesn't really... Forces us to take more damage than we would have in this game otherwise. I think we're closer to moving Sanctifier off the list, which a lot of people have already done, but anyways, on to the next match. Alright, we're back for match number 3. Gonna play, which is always nice. 4-lander can't keep. 1-lander is very debatable. Put back, I guess, Eidolon. So do I fetch Shock or do I just get a Mountain? Guess we fetch Shock. Turn 1 Birds of Paradise. Well... attack, give them the opportunity to block. Feels like we're up against Yogg, be my guess in the dark. Third opponent to 15. Yep, feels like Yogg. Okay, Wall of Roots. Seiju. Into another wall or something. Into Scavenging Ooze. Well, that's moderately terrifying. is to gain a life. Question is, do they block here? Go to 6. Okay. Alright, can you kill me this turn? There are some combinations with like Blood Artist and stuff where we could end up dying here. All the cards are on the table, so can you kill us? Well, all of our cards are on the table. All of theirs is not quite yet. Cord for 1. Okay, Young Wolf, sure. So I believe we'll have to evolution or cord for Blood Artist. Okay, 3. Okay. Do they have the... another undying creature is the question. If they have an undying creature they can cast or cord for, then we're dead. Okay. So I'm not sure what that accomplished. Cord for 2. Sure. Okay, you're still dead on my upkeep. Alright. Trying to figure out where they were going with that, but... Alright, path seems fine. Vortex seems okay. So, it's been a minute since I played against Yogg. Off. Okay. How frequent is Chalice on the board? Don't know that we play around Chalice in game 1. Wear Tear, no. Firecraft, not really. Some number of vortexes for anti-life gain stuff seem okay. Boros Charm's fine, but I think we can afford to trim a couple Eidolons on the draw. I'll try it like that. Four lands, no creature interaction, no pressure. This hand is a little bit better. Probably put back the Fiery Islet. We're going to be taking a lot of damage from our lands, so... I think we just lead on basic mountain here. Monastery Swizzle Spear. Presume they have a Wall of Roots or something. Okay, String Order Geist. Chalice on 1. I was dumb. I missed a point of damage there. Oh well. Oops. Okay, start over Geist. Block. Actually, do we even care here? Nah, I screwed up. We need to Serum Blaze this. You screwed up the sequencing there. Oopsie. That's 2 points of damage we've now missed. Okay, Grist. force them to chump with the Stringer Geist. Okay. Lava Spike doesn't do a bloody thing. Another Serum Blaze, just what I wanted. Cord for one, sure. Okay, another cord that I'm sure they would have loved to have drawn. Sure. Okay, plus to 10. But with 3 cards in hand, so they've already used or milled over 3 of their Quarter Callings, so I don't think I'm going to respect that card much. So if we draw, I don't even know what could kill them here that wouldn't be a land. Okay, so this looks like a Yogg, maybe a Giralf. Sure. Come on, give me a land. Make this easy. I think we're just dead, actually. Okay. Two, 3, 5, 7. Okay. Do you understand how your deck works? Question comes, do I play around Chalice or not? I think the answer to that is no, because they only play like 2 or 3 Chalices in their board. Because it has a bit of a detrimental effect on their deck as well. And by the time they can get a Chalice down in game 2, it's... or on the draw, it's far too slow. We lead on the fetch lane to thin the deck out a little bit. Turn 1 on Mana Dork, sure. Hand them land into land. Then slow down their development a little bit. Sure, Wall of Roots into something. Wall of Roots into Young Wolf. Okay, there's a chord, there's a chord. Once again, we're trying to choke them on mana a little bit. Okay, Stringer Road East. Birds of Paradise. Alright, well, let's see what we can draw here. Triggers, land, land. Cool. Okay. Second chord for a lot. 1, 2, 3. It's the stupid devotion to green card. It is. We shouldn't have played our land out there, but... Opponent should be a 5 if I wouldn't have skewered up there. Okay. Cool. Mm-hmm. All right. 1-2 start so far. See you for the next match. All right. I knew I said we were going to do one more match in this video, but I figured this was a good place to wrap. So, once again, I continue to say, I watch other people play Burn, do well with it, and life goes on. Me, I play Burn, I flood out. I play Burn, I misplay a little bit and die, or my opponent plays Chalice and I get stuck with four 1-mana plays in hand. Was my play the tightest in a couple of spots? No, it was not. You know, I missed a couple of points in that Chalice game. I don't remember. I'd have to go back and check to see if they were at 2 or 3 whenever we lost the game. But I think they were at 2. So yeah, I think we may have actually cost ourselves against Yawgmoth, but they may have also played differently given the consideration. But as far as the takeaways so far, just from the 3 matches, Sanctifier has basically become unplayable. It's not particularly good in the Burn Mirror. It never has been. And with the number of like Luris decks and stuff, obviously Luris being banned, you know, the number of Ragavan and Darcy decks that aren't Murktide, card gets significantly worse. The question is, I don't know what you'd replace with it. Maybe Relic, maybe Rest in Peace will be a little bit more relevant against something like Yawgmoth. Just don't see that card being particularly playable right now. As far as the main deck, Searing Blaze, 2 out of 3 actually 3 out of 3 matchups, it was a pretty reasonable card. So looking at that, Blaze seemed to be a reasonable Magic card. The rest of the sideboard, you know, we brought in the Pass, we brought in the Vortexes. I don't think we brought in any of the matchups where we wanted Deflecting Palm. Firecraft, I don't think we brought in, but then again, we haven't played against any blue decks. Smash and Wear Tear, you know, we could have brought them in against Yawgmoth, having seen Chalices out of them, but I still stand by, I don't think that's the best strategy to be on against them, as they're only playing like 2 or 3 Chalices maybe, and they're a 1-drop deck themselves, so it's kind of a little bit awkward for them. It did win them a game, but, you know. So, as far as overall, where do I see this list kind of moving forward? You know, I really hated flooding out, but there were also some games where in the Burn Mirror we took a little bit of extra damage, but that had more to do with Sanctifier. So I would say cut the Sanctifiers for maybe Rest in Pieces at this point, and that's the only adjustment I would recommend just based off of those games so far. You could cut like a Searing Blaze from their Skull Crack. There's a lot of different things you can do with the list. Maybe go down to 19 lands. We seem to be in a lot more games where we're flooding out rather than games where we're struggling to hit our second and third land drops. But that's kind of a reactionary thing. But I would definitely say, as somebody mentioned in one of the comments, Sanctifier en-vec, it's time to go. Maybe bring back Rest in Peace. Maybe bring back Relic of Progenitus, one of the two. Just to have a little bit of actual hard graveyard hate against decks like Dredge, against decks like Yawgmoth, etc. But I continue to be very underwhelmed by Burn's position in the meta. And maybe I'll do a video or a writing on that at some point, maybe why that seems to be the case. But, every time I play Burn, I've been massively underwhelmed by its performance of late. And it doesn't seem to be doing particularly well in bigger events. Yes, it does 5-0's leagues. Yes, it does this. Yes, it does that. But it does seem to be not the best position currently. So whether it's sliding down the card, things like Boomer Jund and Humans and Tron and those kind of decks, kind of hard to say. But, right now I would not say take Burn into a big event and expect to do well. So, anyways, this has been John for MTG Nexus with another Boros Burn video. And we'll continue iterating on this list. Maybe hopefully find that extra little edge that can get us back into doing fairly well. But didn't feel too great in this league so far. But this has been John for MTG Nexus. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Leave me a constructive comment down below.